Alright, gonna do a well overdue VOD review here for Shirley. Why is there a lock on your deck? Are you not playing with the fully unlocked profile? I might want to check that. I'll just keep reviewing anyway, though. You just need 40 to clear. That's not gonna do it. Oh, I wouldn't have discarded all that, though. Yeah, because now we're in a much tougher spot to get out. Yeah, so you should have kept the flush, but discarded the other 3 cards to see if you could get a higher flush. Because like a flush and a high card is going to get you out in 2 at the very worst, but now we're in a much trickier spot. We're going to lose a lot of money. Yeah, so for future, definitely just play keep the flush in hand full, even though it doesn't score enough. Discard the additional 3 cards and see what you can hit. So yeah, we're down a couple bucks. We move on. Yeah, definitely need to make sure we're playing on a fully unlocked profile. Oh, okay. We understand now. Okay. Great, much better. Straight clears. Yeah, gotta take idle. I hate runs like this, but absolutely gotta take idle. Ooh, Vagabond. Nice. Alright, so it's gonna be one of these games. Okay, we have the ability to clear. Ooh, no, 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 no. Okay, so you have Vagabond. It's going to give you a tarot card for every single hand you play. You just threw away 3 tarot cards. You found your straight. You know you can clear the blind, play 3 high cards, then play your straight to get out of there. That's so much tarot, like tarot generation, right? Like think about it. When you open a Arcana pack that costs $4, you get 1 tarot. You're throwing away $3 in additional hand money, right? So $3 because of how you played the blind currently. But instead, you could have 3 additional tarot cards, technically worth $12. Not to mention, you have an idol already. We want to start manipulating our deck as fast as possible. Now we're not going to get any vagabond value because we didn't do anything in the shop. Oh, we're selling vagabond. Okay. I absolutely would not have sold Vagabond. Vagabond is a ridiculously strong Joker that generates tarot cards like none other. You absolutely want that. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think this is going to be pretty tough because assuming your opponent also took the Vagabond and kept it, they're going to have an additional 3 to 4 tarot cards over you every single round and able to manipulate their deck so much faster than you. And they're most likely on the Polychrome Idol as well. You want to make sure to open that Arcana pack, yeah, first, because now we're down money for that. Hermit. I'm not a huge fan on using that Grim, just because aces are not usually where you want to be, especially on the idol. We're looking to play retriggers, which probably means face cards with things like Sock and Buskin. That usually shows up. So Glass Ace is, of course, quite strong. It can be good in the early matches as well. But if this ends up into like a retrigger situation, which seems most likely, we probably want to be on face cards instead. I would 100% sell everything and onk that idol. Yeah, I think we're thinking a little too short term. We need to think about the long game, right? Like when we open that pack and we're looking at the cards in this pack, we need to be thinking about how are we going to win the game, right? If we sell down the banana, the riffraff, and the delayed gratification, yeah, we're a little low on scoring for the PvP, but who cares? This is 1 PvP. We got 4 lives. We could even use the money. Also, double idol on Polychrome if we draw the card that we have. Not even a guaranteed loss. But I mean, like, yeah, familiar can give you some good face cards. I'm not against using a familiar, but it's just not the same as double idle. If you have double idle and a single retrigger, I mean, you're golden. Now imagine we had that plus Vagabond manipulating our deck. This run would be looking kind of next level. Just gonna get to the PvP here. Here we go. I also probably would have sold, unless you're just gonna not discard, which I'm not against necessarily in the PvP here. Looks like that's gonna be the case. Yeah, at this point I definitely would not discard. Hopefully what you're doing here is just waiting for your opponent to beat your score. Honestly, as soon as they put up a big number that you can't possibly match, I'm playing some like high cards to get out as quickly as possible to deny them value. But honestly, it looks like that's what they're doing to you, unless they're just trying to discard down to an idle hand. Okay, so you are going to win this PvP. We did not need to play the glass there. Ooh, do not play glass unless you need to play glass, right? Especially you're on Ghost deck. You have an idol. We could potentially find a red seal for that glass jack and then be looking to death that. At the moment, that's the card I would be looking to make copies of 100%, even without the red seal. But that's what you want to do is, I mean, a red seal on a glass is huge. Probably just lucky up some kings. Good. I don't care too much about these. I'd probably just Emperor. You could Lovers a king. I'm a greedy guy though. I would probably Emperor. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. Lots of money. No reason to not Hermit and take some rolls. Probably grab the high card level. I also probably would have rolled an additional time. We're going to be able to get out of this blind, and we would ideally not use our discards, and we're going to end up with a lot of money. Oh, okay. See, now that delayed gratification was just not worth keeping. We just don't need that. Don't play your glass. Yeah, glass is, I mean, yeah, we lost the glass, right? It's just not something you need to use outside of the PvP blinds. We really want to save that for those PvP blinds, especially because of the fact, yep, Invisible Joker, great take. I would have definitely taken that golden ticket to see if we can get some kind of retrigger going, just because we don't really need this. I forget what this is called, but this club card, it's not necessary. You know, the swashbuckler is going to be enough with the polychrome and the foil to get you out. I am a fan of not discarding though, since we have that delayed gratification, $8. That's not bad. But yeah, I mean, again, the big things here is I don't think we were thinking too heavily about the late game, right? Especially now that we found an Invisible Joker. I mean, we could be looking at a spot where at this point, we definitely should have picked up that mail-in rebate over some of the scoring. I mean, I would discard the delayed gratification or the scoring, but like it's just great money. But yeah, especially with the Invisible Joker and the Ankh we could have had earlier on the idol and should have done, we could be looking at, you know, one of those games where the score gets up into the like E30s. All right, idol is on Jack of Hearts. We do have a glass Jack of Hearts as well as an additional Jack of Hearts. I believe that is just plain, so we're probably going to be looking to dig down to that and win the PvP. I wouldn't Chariot yet because we just kind of want to get rid of this stuff, right? That 8 is irrelevant to us. Yeah, I think when we enter the PvP, one thing to keep in mind is that you're looking to play, especially with like a retrigger idle build, even though we don't have the retriggers yet, is in PvP, you're really looking to play one big hand to win, right? Whoa, we wanted to save that invisible joker. Yeah, now we're just selling it. I'm not sure what the plan was there. Um, Possible we might want to slow it down again and think about our late game plan, right? Like, you have an active invisible joker. What you should do is wait until you see another good joker in the shop. Then you sell down to the one that you want to copy with Invis. Then sell the Invis. We'd have had a second idol again. Like, we had the opportunity for two idols, two polychrome idols, mind you. And then you can buy more jokers after that. But I mean, just popping it and then selling it immediately, I just don't understand what the point of that was. So yeah, again, we really need to just be thinking about what we're gonna do in the late game. I mean, especially on Ghost deck where we have access to extra spectral cards, it's usually going to be a high scoring game. On White Stake, it's usually going to be a late game Joker build. Okay. Again, we need to slow it down. You're not getting the value out of your deck, right? You had a gold seal in your hand right there, and you just didn't get $3. We want to make sure we're making money. You want to get as much value out of your deck as possible. I'm probably rolling down and then popping this Wraith. Okay, well, we absolutely want that Sock and Buskin. See, this is where... Oh, boy. Okay. I mean, we have an open Joker slot, right? Like, we don't really need the Clubs Joker or the Swashbuckler. So we're throwing away a lot of money here. And, like, we're throwing away the late game. At this point, we're in the mid game at the very least. I'd be surprised if your opponent doesn't take this one, because we should have double idol, possibly even triple idol with the Sock and Buskin at this point. And we've also been throwing away some money, so they could even be ahead of us in the shop. And that's with the fact that they should still have had Vagabond for a long time, which means they're probably ahead in deck manipulation as well. Alright, you just sunned two heart cards. I'm really confused by that. We have idle. We want to get our cards to be the same. So why are we sunning cards that are already the same? Again, this idol is a card to build around here. So probably want to like look into possibly watching like some streamers play and see how they handle Ghost deck. Honestly, Ghost deck in particular, Bean is a very good player, top player in the game, who his specialty is really Ghost deck White Stake. And so you can kind of see how he'll handle those situations like the Ankh you had earlier, like the use of Vagabond. And you can kind of get a better idea of perhaps like how to handle that situation. Okay. Yeah, I mean that's just we're kind of throwing it away here. I think you're kind of trying to play solo player, like single player Balatro, and in multiplayer that's just not gonna work. Plus Molt loses to X Molt every single day of the week. Plus these cards are just straight X Molt, right? Like X3, X3. That idol with that single Sock and Buskin is better than both of these combined. Not to mention that it's a zillion times better, because let's say your opponent is manipulating the deck into, my guess is jacks at this point. Um, if they play a flush five of jacks, or even a five of a kind of jacks, and they have a Sock and Buskin, and let's say they didn't even onk at any point, so they only have one idol, they're going to score millions more than you. So I definitely think we need to look at Joker evaluation. And then again, we need to be getting the value from our deck. So when we have things like a gold seal, yeah. Honestly, 9 million, or sorry, 9 billion might even just be a throwaway hand. Yeah, I mean, both these Jokers probably just are not going to be worth it. Again, I think we're just kind of playing solo player Balatro. We're on white stake. It's really easy to get through the blinds. It's we really should have a pretty late game build. At this point, it should be double or triple idle with a sock and buskin. Um, and like getting through the blinds, you just kind of play full houses or things like that with your phase cards and have plenty. Right, like almost none of your jokers procced on that, just the clubs one, and we're clearing the blind by twice the score. So I mean, it's not even a concern. I mean, we didn't even play down to acrobat, right? So yeah, we didn't even play down to acrobat. So we have plenty of scoring to get through the blinds. We really need to be looking to get into the super late game builds. White stake is really all about getting the huge number like that. What happened? I'm not sure how it ended like that, but yeah, I mean, most of the time, not going to end up winning that one. Really got to look into the Joker evaluation of late game. And again, trying to find value from your deck. So the two main things I'd work on is understanding what the Balatro multiplayer metagame is. And by that, I mean, what are the builds that are going to win you games? You started with the card that is ultimately one of the best late game builds, which is the Idol. And re-triggering that idol is going to get you X molt in the E category, right? Like you can literally get that thing to have numbers going on your score where you can't even tell what the number is. And the second thing is definitely going to be getting value out of your deck. So every time you enter a blind, it's all about, okay, what do I need to do to get the most value out of my deck? Sometimes that's playing three throwaway hands to find, you have three gold cards. So, you play three high cards before you play your actual hand to get as much value as possible. So, I definitely would recommend taking the time before you enter a blind to look at your deck, see what you have, whether it be gold seals to find, purple seals, or if you don't have any value at all, and knowing that getting out as fast as possible is the correct call. That's always, the easiest way to practice it, but that is the start of the game, right? And then as you progress and get gold seals or gold cards, whatever it may be, finding that value. So yeah, that's what I'd recommend. If you have any questions, let me know.